everybody! So we are back today with another Q&A video because in our survey that you guys did like 2 months ago now, you guys asked so many questions, so we had to split it up into at least 2 videos. So hopefully this one's not quite as long as the last one. The last one was really long, but
I'm sure it'll be long.
We just to chat. So here is the second half of the Q&A. Okay. So the first one says, do you honestly enjoy working from home? This person says they want to find a job they can at least work from home part-time. I prefer some quiet time and not always have to be social when I'm at work. I'm not saying I hate people, but I feel like I have to feel good and be perky every day at the office.
I feel like this person knows me.
Yeah.
Knows my soul.
Yeah, that's very, yeah. I have not had a full-time job in an office. I've done internships in an office and I hated being in an office. I didn't hate the internships. I hated being in the office. I don't know. I like to be on my own, do my own thing. After I graduated college, I did have a full-time job, but I worked from here, not our blog stuff.
She worked for me.
I did, but I worked from home. So I honestly enjoy it. I like being able to kind of, well, now I get to completely set my own schedule and do whatever I need. And you know, if something around the apartment needs to be done during the day and I have 10 minutes, I can, like yesterday, like I went and clean the bathroom for like 10 minutes in the middle when I just needed like a break from something. You know, we can eat lunch exactly how we want. You know, I don't need to like pack a sandwich and bring it to the office. Like I can cook like an actual meal here. We get to kind of be on our own, so I enjoy that aspect of it.
So I worked in several offices full-time for many years before moving to New York and working full-time from home. So I have had both experiences. I would say I'm glad I got the experience of working in an office for the first few years out of college, because I feel like that is where I built my working habits and also got to learn a lot of things from my peers. I'm glad that I had that experience like kind of right away, but I love working from home and would never, I mean, I don't want to say never ever ever, but really at this point feel like never ever work in an office environment again, except like unless we like this grows and we build our own office. Like I wouldn't work in another office for somebody.
Correct.
Again.
Correct.
So that's kind of where I'm at. There are challenges with working from home for sure.
Distractions.
See, but for me, the distraction is more in the office. So like if I ever, you guys know I have a full-time job. So if I ever have to go to the office for meetings and stuff, I feel like it's so distracting and I never get anything done because you're interacting with like people all the time, and I am so much more productive, I feel like, working from home. It's also all about efficiency for me, and it's really important and it's really key that I am able to work from home because I have no commute time, so I don't have any time of my day wasted doing that. And so I can easily multitask between the various projects that we have going on, between sister market stuff, as told by stuff, and my full-time job. To me, it's just a crucial piece that the other bits are successful. The fact that my full-time job, I can work from home.
Okay, so this person asked 2 different questions, so, and they have nothing to do with each other. So the first one, our all-time favorite clothing item / beauty product. That is hard.
Clothing item and beauty product, or either?
It probably changes for me.
For sure.
But right now, I love my Gucci shoes. It's just something that like I've wanted for years, and I finally bit the bullet and did it, and I wear them like every day, and I just love them. They make me really, really happy. So right now that's probably it, but it changes. I haven't bought clothes in a long time, so that's one of the most recent things that like
That's not true. The shirt you're wearing you just bought a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but it's just a t-shirt. It's not like
Still a clothing item.
Beauty product. I would probably say right now that Olay Onyxin Glow Serum, the vitamin C one for the mornings.
Truth serum.
That one.
Yeah. This is hard. Clothing item. It's early on in our relationship, but the Amazon coat's pretty cozy. It's pretty up there. Only because that's a new thing. I would say either that or my Nordstrom pajama sets that I love, like the matching sets, the top. I wear it in almost every vlog that you see, so you know what I'm talking about. Love those two. Beauty, skincare, I have so many favorites. It's so hard to pick just one. But if I have to, I would say probably if I could just use one thing, it would probably be the Kiehl's Midnight Recovery Concentrate.
That's like my number two.
I love that, especially at night because it smells calming. So it's like a twofer for me.
Yeah.
Where I do a deep breath and inhale the serum and get like the lavender and all the calming properties to like set my mood for bed.
Yeah.
And then I get the benefits of the skin too. So it's an internal benefit and an external benefit.
It's very deep. Okay. Their second question says, what other places in the world can you see yourself living in the future? For me, obviously London. I would like to do that at some point. I would like to move back there and be there for a good amount of time. I also really enjoyed Antwerp when we were there, and I feel like I could live there. I just really enjoyed it. It's hard because I think about like other places in the States that I'd want to live, and nothing like comes to mind yet about where I would like. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. I would say I could see myself living in any major European city.
Yeah.
So like London, Paris,
I don't think
to name
I could
a
live in
couple. I could. Something like that, because I feel like they're similar to New York. And that's where I am in my life. That's the kind of vibe I want in a place where I'm going to be living. Like a big major city like that has a lot to offer. I would say, but I also really do love something a little bit more remote, or like in the countryside or mountain or something, but just for a temporary basis. I could never live there full time, but I would love to at some point have like a dual living situation where at least I had a place that I could get away to that was outside of the city, just for, you know, mental health and state of mind, to have that different kind of place. But there's nowhere else in the States I see myself living at this point in time in my life besides New York.
How long do we plan on living together, and how long do we plan on living in New York?
I mean, we don't have a time frame on that. It's not like in 3 years, bye.
No. I want to at least stay in New York until I've hit 10 years here, which will be in about a year and a half. That will be 10 years of living in New York. So after that, I would maybe start to think about where do we want to go, what do we want to do. Afterwards, I'm not necessarily saying we have to leave right then. It just depends on a whole lot of things. I mean, so many things could change, and I don't know. We don't really have like a set. I know I want to stay in New York for 10 years, but that's about it. You're a year behind me in New York, so do you want to stay for a full 10 years?
I mean, it's not like a hard and fast rule I have for myself, but I mean, at this point I have no plans to move or leave in the immediate future.
No, not immediate. I mean, at least not in the next year and a half for me.
No.
Somebody asked again, and it's been like another month, but someone said, are we going to share where our 2019 trips are? Again, we still don't know for sure. We've been preoccupied with a lot of other things, really focusing on the sister market and everything with that. So I haven't had any time to plan any trips. We've really enjoyed kind of taking a step back because, I mean, last year I feel like we were never in New York.
Yeah.
Like never, ever. So it's been nice. I'm now getting to a point where I'm like, okay, we need to
So
like
you get a
go
little
somewhere.
antsy, yeah.
So hopefully we can do something small pretty soon. I guess we can kind of say the plan is to do London in May. So that will be our first kind of like big trip. Nothing's booked yet, so everyone hold their breath. Nothing's booked yet, but that's the plan. Hopefully we can throw in somewhere small before then. We're gonna
By small, we mean like domestic,
Yeah.
like easy to get to from New York.
Yeah.
That's what we mean by small.
Yeah.
Like a quick weekend.
Yeah. We're gonna hopefully do a couple staycations coming up in New York, staying in some hotels and exploring new neighborhoods here. So that'll be some of the new stuff, but I promise as soon as we know things, we will announce them and we'll let you know.
Yeah, just overall, we're going to be traveling less than we have the past couple of years. So just know that.
We'll probably step it back up next year, but the past, like, I mean, last year was crazy and the year before that was a lot too, and so we just need to be like,
Yeah, we had
whoa.
two pretty solid years of a lot of travel, and we added a new business at the very end of 2018. This is to market, so we want to give that the like attention and focus that it deserves, to help it grow in its first year, which would be really hard to do if we're always on the road.
Yeah. Okay, this person asked several different questions. So the first one, she asked to give advice on moving to New York. It's kind of hard to do if we don't know where you're coming from, because it would be different if you live in the US and you're moving here, or if, I think so. I think you did.
Yeah.
Or if you're coming from another country, that's like a whole nother set of things.
Let's assume domestically.
Yeah, I would say you have to kind of, if you want to move to New York, you kind of have to put all of your worries and everything aside and just bite the bullet and do it, and you'll figure it out when you get here. Is kind of how it is. I mean,
it's really hard to do if you're not here. Like, you'll have to really take a trip here to look at apartments and like sign a lease and stuff. Otherwise what you'll have to do is come and sublet or stay in an Airbnb for a short period of time somewhere. I know a lot of people do that while you're figuring it out. It's hard. Turnaround times are very quick here.
Yeah.
Like you sign your lease and within a couple weeks you're moving, and stuff isn't listed. Apartments aren't listed until like a couple weeks before you can move in. So you don't have months to plan. It all comes together very, very quickly, and it's also expensive in the fact that obvious moving expenses. With
you need to save as much money as you possibly can, especially when you sign a lease. If you're not subletting, if you're actually signing a lease on your own, you have to put up in cash first and last month's rent, a security deposit that is this equal amount to rent. So you basically have to have 3 months worth of rent in cash that you have to hand over to these companies when you sign the lease.
And rent's expensive.
A lot of money. Hence why 3 of us live in this apartment, because you share every expense. So the more people you live with, the cheaper
the only
everything
way
is.
that
Every single bill.
we're able to afford to live here is because we live together.
Yeah.
None of us would be able at all to afford to live on our own.
Not really,
New York.
no.
It's
Not
so expensive.
Yeah. But I will link the blog post down below. I'll go and find it and link it down below. They also asked, are we into the outdoors? Yes. I like the outdoors when we are out in nature. So I like hiking, I like exploring. That's why we tend to do like beach trips, and then we do mountain trips because we like both aspects of it. I like getting out here in the city. I like going to the park and stuff, but it's also very crowded most of the times. So it's not necessarily, yes, you're like, you see like the trees and the grass and everything, but it's not necessarily like you're in this remote location where no one's around for miles and you can just like breathe. So it's a totally different aspect in my mind. I think she disagrees.
I like the outdoors, but in a controlled environment. So like camping, like roughing it.
Oh, I don't camp.
No, that's not for me.
I will stay in a cabin in the woods.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yes.
I don't necessarily need like all the electricity and all the
Or
things.
for like a finite amount of time. Like when we did the teepee.
Yeah.
That was no electricity, no running water.
Yeah.
No cell service.
Yeah.
Nothing. But it was 24 hours.
Yeah.
That I can do.
See, I don't even mind like the no electricity and stuff if I'm in like a cabin and there's like a door and everything's like together. Like I don't necessarily need like all the things. I just don't really want to. I don't like bugs, so like I don't want to like sleep on the ground in a tent, but I'll sleep in a cabin in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. So yes, we like the outdoors, but there's caveats.
Yeah. Oh, they also said they picked up a book on New York community parks and asked if we could show more of them, which we can.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's so many parks in New York.
Yeah.
There's way more than just Central Park.
Yeah.
Like everybody obviously in the entire world has heard of Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's a great destination to go. It's humongous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never even seen all of Central Park. It's like, I don't know that there are many New Yorkers that have.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Maybe runners.
And there's a lot to do. Well, like every square inch of Central Park, I don't know. I would say few people have done that. But there's so many other parks in New York and the other in Manhattan and then the other boroughs of New York City as well.
Yeah, it's just been hard because it's been so cold, so it's not fun for us to like go out and like sit in a park for hours because it's freezing.
I want to do more of that this spring.
Oh, for sure. That's
So,
what I'm saying. Like as soon as the weather lets up a little bit, which I think it's kind of starting to, ish, we'll get out and do that kind of stuff. That's a lot of outdoorsy stuff. We definitely will when the weather warms up.
Yeah.
When it's 20 degrees outside.
You don't really want to go hang out in a park.
No. Next question. What is it like working and living with your sister? We've kind of touched on this a lot. I mean, we've lived together how old are you? 26, almost 27, or not almost 27, 26 and a half. But you were gone for 4 years in college. So 22 years minus my freshman year. So about 21 years we've lived together. So we know how to live with each other.
Yeah.
We know what each other needs. We know we can pick up on little cues, you know, when someone needs to just like go be by themselves. It's like it's just like an unspoken thing that we just know. So it's easy.
Yeah.
Although it's hard. Sorry, Ethan. I could never live with our brother.
No.
Again.
No.
You know, so it's different. We've always kind of meshed.
We have similar habits,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, it's just, it's easy. I mean, obviously we fight. I mean, let's be real. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. And we fight obviously like harder or meaner sometimes than a typical roommate that would just be like a friend, because we have that long relationship and we can go there. But I mean, it's really overall not a problem, because it's just like that level of comfortability and familiarity, and I don't know, it's just, I realize not everybody can do it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's true. Like I said, like we couldn't live with our brother, but like we could live with each other.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just different. I think it comes down to a lot, like personality-wise and stuff. It all comes down to that. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Working-wise, I mean, again, we've always had really similar interests. We have similar personalities, and for as long as I can remember, we always talked about like doing something in the future together. So it was always something like kind of in the back of my head, and I think it goes kind of together with living together, is that our personalities just work well together.
It is a lot of time, you know, together, which, you know, sometimes is great, but sometimes we need a break.
That's why our bedrooms are on opposite sides of the apartment.
I mean, we just have to be conscious about how much time we're spending together, and know when we need a break from each other.
Okay, so the next one says, how do you plan and afford all of your vacations, and do you have planning advice? Okay, so I'll kind of take this in two parts.
We've answered this
The first
before.
one, yeah, we've kind of answered before, and it all comes down to we make the vacations, or we don't like to call them vacations because we're working the entire time we're doing them. We haven't taken one in a while where it's like a full vacation where we don't do anything, which I think we should. So our trips, we make that a priority. We just, any extra income that we have, you know, we put towards that. We have our budgets and we know, you know, what we want to do for that. And so if we don't go out to brunch for, you know, months, that's because we're saving that money for a trip. So you just have to, when you're looking at your overall kind of like yearly and monthly budget, you have to figure out what your priorities are and figure out.
And think about your destinations. Obviously, some destinations are going to be more expensive than others. And so think about what your priorities are in a trip, and that can help match with the destination. Or if you have a specific destination in mind already, do research into what all of the costs are so that you know what you're getting yourself into and can save accordingly.
So the second part of this, do we have any planning advice? Yes, we do. So we are thinking about launching through As Told By, kind of like a travel consulting service with us.
We get a lot of questions about how to plan trips.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this might be something that you guys might be interested in using our services for.
We're not sure exactly what it would entail. It's kind of, if you would want someone to plan a trip for you, or if you just want some time to bounce ideas off of us, or if you want us to not necessarily plan an itinerary, but you just want us to come up with a list, we can have maybe different tiers of what we offer. We're still kind of like
brainstorming.
Brainstorming. So we want to see what you guys think about that. Would you use that? Would you like it? Is that something that you would do? It's hard for us because
is that a service that you would pay? Would be interested in paying somebody to do? Like either get advice on, do like an hour Skype session and just get advice, or like plan an itinerary, or plan an itinerary and book everything for you. Like what basically would you be interested in?
Kind of like a travel agent, but it's us doing it, and you know us and you know what we do, and
you know our expertise.
Right, it's more of that one-on-one connection, and you know, we plan our own trips to places we've never been to before, so it can be not just places that we've been to, it can be other places as well, because we have those resources and contacts to plan an amazing trip. So let us know if that is something that you would like. Alright, so the last question says, you mentioned you follow British YouTubers. Would love to hear who you follow. I will tell you.
This is a Shelbs question.
So
there's only one I really watch.
Oh really? So I've loved Zoella for a really long time. I discovered her and Tanya back in, I want to say 2012. This was during my crazy One Direction obsession days, and so I was on YouTube all the time looking for that stuff, and their things kind of came up. So I found out about them. I still watch them, still really love them.
I actually just watched one of Zoe's videos this morning.
Oh, which one?
One of her, the one where she went to Lush. Yeah, it was long.
Yeah,
but it was good. I liked her Vlogmas, which Shelby introduced me to a couple years ago, as an example of how she wanted us to do Vlogmas. And so that's when I kind of started watching her. And I don't watch I'm not a giant YouTube watcher, just because I'd rather read than watch videos. That's just me. I like producing the videos. I just don't watch a ton. But I do enjoy watching hers. And then while I'm talking, I also like the Bucket List family. But that's all.
They're not
really
British.
I know. I'm just throwing it out there.
So I also really like Lily Pebbles and Anna. I really like her. Newton's her last name now. She got married. They're really close friends.
I follow them on Instagram. I just don't really watch their videos.
I watch the family, the Saucony Jolies. I really like them. Pretty soon after I started watching Zoella, she had mentioned them, I think, in a video, and then so I had started kind of watching them, and then they moved to England. They're from Ireland, and then they moved to England shortly after that, and I've been watching them ever since. They're really cute. It started with like a 1.5-year-old and a newborn baby, and now they have 4 kids, and their oldest is now like almost 7, and it reminded me a lot of our family until now they have a 4th child, because it was a girl, a boy, and then a girl, which is how our family is. So it was cool to kind of see like their relationships like all together and kind of see, because it reminded me of us. I used to watch Louise Sprinkle of Glitter, but I haven't watched her in a long time. I also watch Zoe's boyfriend Alfie. I like his stuff. Oh, Amelia, I like her. I've showed you her Instagram before. I really enjoy her. Amelia Leona. Oh, Naomi Smart. I like her.
I think I follow her on Instagram. She does
Mhm.
recipes, right? Is that her? Somebody.
She does some, but she's not just recipes. No, I mean, we have her cookbook.
Maybe that's what I'm
But no, she's not just recipes. Those are all the ones that I will watch, like everything. Everybody else that I'm subscribed to is just if they post something that like I'm interested in, I'll watch it, but I don't watch everything. All right, I think that's it. Yay! If you have any more questions for us, leave them down below. We will answer them in another Q&A video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking this button right there, and you can watch our latest video right there. See you guys next time. Bye!